3 stories on how to craft an inbound marketing strategy for you, passionate product builder. This is another episode that is designed for you product makers who want to scale your marketing. Perhaps right now you heavily depend on your personal network, and who shouldn't, right? If you have friends who would like your products. And number 2, maybe you're depending on outbound marketing for some immediate success. But if your product pitch already works, this is especially relevant for you. You know that you have a system that works whenever you put it in front of an audience. People tend to like your work. So let's talk about a process that would scale better than tapping your personal network or relying on outbound, which is inbound marketing. Because if we compare it with outbound marketing, that's more like hunting for tonight's dinner, right? Wherein inbound marketing is more like building a factory. Scalable results that will happen for later, but if you're confident about the payoff, then you'll happily invest in something that's scaled. Stay alert, because these are 3 stories, and at the end of each story, you're gonna get a 5-minute actionable tip. My name is Alan from northstories.io, and here are the 3 hot stories about inbound marketing strategy. Story number 1. Let us not forget this classic piece by HubSpot, wherein they have broken down the definition of inbound marketing. You might have gone through this piece a bunch of times before, but it's always worth looking back at it again. So, as a reminder, if you're already familiar with inbound, there are 4 actions for converting your strangers, your prospects, into promoters. Number 1, you want to attract strangers to be visitors of your website, of your property, of your store. Number 2, you want to convert them into people who have engaged with you. 3, at some point, you want to turn that engagement, you want to turn the lead into a customer by closing them. Finally, you want to turn them into promoters by delighting them. Now, let's make your actionable practice by going through the 5-minute tip, which is mapping your audience's inbound journey. The question is, do you have a complete, cohesive, step-by-step journey for your audience? Look at your entire flow and see if there is any gap in terms of how you're driving traffic, how you convert that traffic into leads, how you nurture those leads into sales, and how you re-engage your customers. And by going through the entire flow, you might be surprised that maybe you are super good at re-engaging clients, while, for example, there might be a gap in terms of converting your leads into customers in the first place, right? So there's an earlier bottleneck. So you want to even out those bottlenecks to have a nice flow of audiences. Okay, story number 2. Thanks to Sonny at Marketing Land for this story regarding the 4 components of the best social media campaigns. For any marketing effort, all these components should be present, right? Why? You don't just want a marketing project for the sake of completing a project, for the sake of spending budgets. You want a clear campaign strategy. Now, what is in a successful social media campaign? Number one, you want a carefully developed plan. 2, clearly defined goals. 3, cross-channel promotion, different social channels, and even channels that are not considered social yet. And finally, a thorough analysis of results. Let's get into the 5-minute tip to get this into something super actionable. And this is about auditing your biggest marketing expense this week. For example, are you working on a social media campaign? Maybe a Facebook ad or a forum marketing activity? You want to check if that project is contributing to clear goals. You want to know if that goal is tied to a deadline. And you want to set your budgets, right? You want to know what you want to achieve, by when, and what you're ready to spend in terms of other kinds of resources like your time and your money. Why? It's very easy to get caught in the busy work without even understanding the rules of the game. So you don't just want to create marketing activities, you want to craft a great campaign. And the 5-minute tip is to audit your biggest marketing expense right this week. Alright, story number 3. A discussion on Quora is, what are the highest impact inbound marketing strategies for SaaS companies? This reminds me of the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, focusing only on the vital few activities that would bring the most results. This discussion is about spending so much time on creating articles or conducting webinars or other kinds of content marketing activities. Now, while we know that inbound marketing is a long-term investment, it helps to know which activities are closer to ROI. So my 5-minute tip for getting actionable here is to list your 10 high traffic channels where you can find where you can reach the biggest amount of relevant audience. Why? Within 5 minutes, you want to list those ideas because you want to identify where you should be spending most of your marketing time. Outside of your own platform, you should be distributing content because chances are Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or maybe a niche forum is far larger than your own website in terms of following, right? So just think about it. A typical Reddit community or even a Facebook group can get 10x more traffic and engagement. Consider this. And while it's very easy to get so busy blogging, traffic does not magically appear, right? You can't just create an infographic and then you're done. You can't set up a webinar and then you're done. You gotta drive new attention. So, you want to invest more in distributing your presence, especially in places that are far more popular than your own platform, because chances are it's very easy to find a more popular place than your own website in terms of reaching new audience that's relevant to your brand. Alright, recap time. 3 actionable tips, and this is the time for you to choose which one you're gonna execute. Number 1, you want to map your audience's inbound journey and see where the gaps are so you can fill in the gaps. Number 2, you want to audit your biggest marketing expense this week and see if they are really producing ROI and you have the rules of the game in terms of the budget, deadlines, and targets. And number 3, you want to list 10 ideas of high traffic channels where you might be spending more of your time instead of on your own platform. All right, there you have it. I want you to identify your action plan, and then I invite you to tweet it to me, Alan Kaeg on Twitter, and then I will hold you accountable. This has been Alan of NorthStories.io, and keep up over here for more tips on inbound marketing for entrepreneurs.